Hey teacups, welcome to another live episode of Tea with Teash podcast. I'm your host Teash, and today I have my homegirl sliding through, which is red carpet correspondent, media personality, all that, and she's a certified badass by the name of Jasmyne Flowers. I don't know if you're following her. If you are not following her, you need to be following her because she is my boo, and she slays a good old red carpet baby out here with all the stars, T and the key honey. Now, does she have tea with her when she do it? We're going to talk about that. But I got my tea. I see my girl on the screen. Let me go ahead and bring her in so we can get this thing rolling. And I'm going to tell you something too. Mother is hot. Okay? Perimenopause doesn't play. I am hot today. Literally. But we still going to keep this thing live than what it was. Hello, girl.
Hello.
Clink, clink, baby. Now, I was telling the people, I said, listen, this is your go-to media girl. She's out here around the world with all the stars. And let's not even play with the fact that you are a red carpet correspondent, you are a media personality, you're a media host, you are a certified badass, you are all these things. And you are also in the gym, honey, which I should be with you, tag me in. But since we're not in the same place, I'm here with the Jasmyne, baby.
Yes, hello. First of all, I'm super excited to even be here speaking with you. This is so awesome. I'm looking forward to having a good conversation, good time, all the things.
Because you know it now, be mindful and be observant that I might have to come out of my glasses, child, because I'm in perimenopause. I'm hot. I'm sweating. They might fog up. I don't know. But we're going to keep
Okay.
rolling.
We
Listen,
got
you
that on.
guys, I love this girl. Okay, so I started following Jasmyne a minute ago, and I said, you know what? I got to have her on the show. And so that's just what happened. I went on and sent her a message. I don't know what I said exactly, but baby girl was down. So I said, let's get this
Let's
thing
do it.
moving.
Okay, let's do it. Let's get it. Yes.
Okay, everybody get in. Everybody say, hey. So you have covered some of the biggest moments in media, but I want to take it back. What was the first moment that you realized, oh, I belong in each and every one of these rooms? Let me in, Buzz.
You know what? So entertainment has always been my thing. I went to undergrad at Clark Atlanta University. I had my master's in entertainment business from Full Sail, but I was always trying to be on the back end, like behind the camera as a
Yeah.
producer director. So everything happened for me during the pandemic. A friend of mine who we were born on the same day and just happened to meet each other one day, and we've been cool ever since. Her cousin had a blog and she was looking for a beauty writer.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I had never written for a blog for beauty, but I was like, why not? It was a time in my life where I said, just try everything. So
Yeah.
I did it. I tried it, and I was like, okay, I like this. But I ended up telling her, I was like, in all honesty, I actually like entertainment more than beauty. So if you have any opportunities for like anything with entertainment, I would love to interview people or go out on assignments. And she was like, okay. She gave me my first assignment, and I was like, wait a minute, actually, like, I really like this. I was like, I think this is where I really need to be. I just like a brand new love was it, and this happened, like I said, during the pandemic. This was probably around September 2020, and
Uh-huh.
well, probably like 2021, where I started actually interviewing people, and I was like, whoa, this is where I need to be. I love this. I actually really, really love this. And just over time, I just got more experience, stepped out there even more, tried new things, strategized ways to get bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the love for me. It's the new love. It's what I want to do.
Okay, so you are definitely built for this because personality, you are out here, you are not afraid to talk to people, you give it to them raw and
And
uncut. What you see is what you get, and they love you out there. And that's the biggest thing is you love what you do, but people got to love you too now. So they'll talk to you,
absolutely,
give you a little bit of news, a little bit of tea. So
absolutely.
you are kicking ass and taking names, honey, and I'm writing them all down like, I got it. So now, how did the life of media girl Jasmyne Flowers begin? Now, I know that you elaborated on the beginning, but I'm trying to figure out this whole personality thing. Have you always had that charisma,
No,
or did you just pick it up along the way?
absolutely not. So, and a lot of people don't believe me, but I grew up around everybody else outside of my home as being that I was a shy girl. Like, there are people who I went to high school with who are like, I can't even believe this is you out here doing this, because they remember me for being the person who was. It's probably people who wouldn't even remember me from high school because I didn't speak to anybody.
Yeah.
So my life changed a bit around the age of 24 when I worked it was on October 4th, 2008. And
Uh,
I will never forget the day because October 4th is my birthday. But I worked
okay.
the opening of Tyler Perry's studio. And I was so happy to get that opportunity. I was young. I was like, this is going to be awesome. It's amazing. But the day that it happened, I told myself, this is not for you. This
Mhm.
career is not for you. You are too shy, you are too quiet. And for anybody who's been in this industry, this is not really the industry for a shy person. It's not
Right.
really the
It
industry
ain't.
for it's not the industry for someone who can't see an opportunity, take an opportunity, or be vocal about the things that they want and make their presence known. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
And that's the back end or being or behind the camera or in front of the camera. You just really have to be a go-getter. And at that time I wasn't. I was afraid
Mhm.
of everything. And so I
Girl.
literally set my ass down and I just really had just internal dialogue with myself. And I was like, I remember saying, just take the need to be in entertainment away from me because
Yeah.
I just don't think I have what it takes to do it. And so I really sat down, I got a regular job and I started working this regular job. But of course, when you are a creative, it never leaves you to be a creative and to be in that space. And it never
Mhm.
left me. So I told myself, you have to develop the personality to be here. And
Yeah.
you have one, I told myself, you need to know that you belong here. And the barriers that were in place were me because I was getting good opportunities when I graduated college. Like I said, I graduated college in actually a semester early from Clark Atlanta University in
Uh-huh.
December of 2005. And by 2006, I was working for a fashion photographer. She had Idris Elba as a client. I'm working as her assistant, and I was
Not
right
see.
next to Idris Elba. And then I worked on a music video. It was called Stunners in 2006, if I'm not mistaken, with Jagged Edge, P. Diddy. Like I had opportunities as a 21-year-old working in those
Girl.
spaces, and I couldn't handle it. So the biggest barrier was me. So I had to get over my own thoughts that I didn't belong there. And truthfully, had I been the person that I am now, as Jasmine Flowers now, unstoppable as a 21-year-old. But you have to take what you can at the time. You have to take your moments or whatever. So it just wasn't time for me then. But I had to develop that personality to be here. And so
Yeah.
now I belong in every room I want to be in. I
Do you
think I
hear what
need to
I'm
be in.
saying?
And that's why I get
Yes.
upset sometimes when I don't get opportunities that I know I deserve. I know I deserve to be in these rooms. So it pisses me off when I try to get credentials to go somewhere and they're like, oh, well, no, the carpet is full. And I'm like, give a damn about that. Boot somebody else up.
Right. Right.
You know, like y'all need me. What are you talking about? So yeah,
Okay. Now, listen, y'all. Like I said on my show, it's always real tea, raw, uncut. I don't know what's going on where I got to keep on readjusting my set, but honey, that's how I go. We're not always polished all the time. Don't know what's happening, but we're gonna keep it
exactly.
moving. And so, yeah, in true tea fashion. So you don't just report culture; you shape how we see it. When did you
Mhm.
realize your voice had that kind of power? Because, like you said, starting out, you really didn't have a big voice, but
Yes.
at some point, you was like, you know what? I know I want to do this, so I'm getting ready to form into who I'm ordained to be. So, with that said, when did you realize, okay, I have the power to really make a difference? People watch me on social
Yeah.
media, and it's starting now.
Yeah, realizing that one, nobody is looking for Oprah 2.0 or Oprah the sequel. And I think that's the
Yeah,
biggest mistake that a lot of people, journalists or people trying to enter into this journalism space,
yeah,
everybody's trying to do journalism, blogging,
yeah.
new media in the same way, and you just have to be original because Oprah is awesome. She's amazing. She's the GOAT. She's the blueprint.
Yeah,
But y'all ain't Oprah. I'm not
yeah,
Oprah. And we have to understand that I have my own unique perspective in the world. You
yeah,
have your own unique perspective. Other media personalities, journalists, they have their own perspective. And we just have to go with that, how we see the world, how we shape the world. And then you gain an audience based off of people who actually want to hear your voice. And
yeah,
you just focus on that and you maintain, whether you went to school for journalism or not, you maintain some type of journalistic integrity with what you report. And you do
yeah.
not do anything to try to, like, I just need to sensationalize all of this stuff. No, the crowd will come when you're authentic.
Okay, that's why I
Oh,
tell them your vibe is your tribe, honey. Whoever sees
exactly.
you and they lock in, they are gonna come around. They're
Exactly.
gonna follow, support. They're gonna uplift, and they're gonna make sure that your voice is amplified. And that's what we do as media girls. Is we just
Absolutely.
want to amplify voices and have a good ass time doing it, and that's what we do. So clink on
Exactly.
that. So let's team red carpet pressure. What's the wildest moment that almost threw you off your game, but you handled it like a pro in true Jasmine Flowers fashion?
Ooh, there have
He
been,
said it's been a minute.
yeah, I was like, there have been a few moments. Um, I will say the last, not, I don't think it was the last one I did, but a red carpet that I did earlier this year
Mm-hmm.
really, really pissed me off. And so much to the point where I made the video about it too. I was very upset. It was a MLK event, which made
Mm-hmm.
it even worse because I have so many issues with the way that Black media is handled,
Yeah.
but particularly the way Black people handle Black media. And Black
Yeah.
organizations who are over Black media handle us as Black media.
Yeah.
And the outlet was not transparent about us not being able to talk to a particular person. Now, to their credit, they never said that anybody actually would be able to talk to
Yeah.
them, but they also didn't let us know that they only approved 3 outlets and none of them were Black outlets to speak to this A-list celebrity.
Yeah.
And I felt like they took our options away from us. And how dare you do this at an MLK event?
Oh
And
my
so,
God.
like, what are y'all doing? And
Yeah.
they didn't seem to care. And so I was like, listen, I'm a little bit different in this industry. I don't I care to be in spaces that align with me, and I don't care to hold secrets for anybody who aren't treating Black people well. We as Black people cannot continue to ask for access, ask to be treated fairly to other people, and then when we get power, we turn around and do that to other people.
Uh-huh.
You can't do that, and
Mm-hmm.
you should be called out too if you are
Yeah.
acting in the ways of which you are calling other people out. So I did that, and I just said, just make sure you spell my name right when you Black. It's me. And my name is Jasmine with a Y, not an I.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so that was the most frustrating or disrespectful part. And one of their workers tried to get an attitude with me, and I was like, girl, like
Okay.
it's not gonna work, sis. Like
Yeah.
they were just rude, they were nasty, and they were liars, and I didn't appreciate that. So finding ways to navigate that space when you feel disrespected, being on the red carpet is already it's a fast pace once
Yeah.
they get going, and like
Yeah.
the the biggest celebrity is gonna probably be the last person that walks the carpet. So
Yeah.
imagine standing up on the carpet for like 2, 3 plus hours getting interviews with people. You're being rushed along. Of course, you have to have your own etiquette on the red carpet. And then
Yeah.
you're waiting for this person who that interview can truly make the difference in your career, being able to add into your media kit. And you don't even get an opportunity to ask a question, take a picture, any of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been standing there for like I said, 2, 3 plus hours. It's
Mm.
it's horrible actually. So yeah, being on the red carpet is cool, it's awesome, but it's also very frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, I bet it is. And and that's one of those moments where you're actually living in the if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And the
Yeah.
thing is no matter how great the opportunity is, you still have to enforce respect.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm giving
For
it,
sure.
you have to give it.
Sure.
And like I said, whatever you have to say about me, just make sure that you spell my name properly because I
That's
know
it.
I handled that thing like I was supposed to. And so, with you playing in my face, just tell them who I really am and what time it was. And so
Exactly.
many of us want those opportunities. But even just doing this, it's still one of those factors where you snooze, you lose kind of thing, but you still have to be
100%.
ready for the show. And you just, I don't know, you handle it so well, everything I've seen you do. And even though you may sweat a little bit, we can't see it. Honey, you
Yeah.
don't crack under no pressure.
Yeah.
So, that's why I said this is my sister in media because you kill it with poise. And if you got something to say or somebody has cut you wrong, you definitely handle it outside of, what we see. So thank you, girl, because you on the scene for me.
Thank
You
you.
have so you've interviewed everybody from rising household names. who made you nervous and who surprised you the most? Because I know it's somebody that made you nervous, and I know it's somebody that has surprised you where you like, damn, they really ain't like I thought they was. They are awesome.
So I will say nobody really made me nervous.
Uh-huh.
This is it was one person, it was one group actually that growing up listening to artists, when you're a little kid, like I like the song Ready or Not by Take what is I can't even remember that name right now. Take Six or something like that. Anyway, it's the Edmund brothers.
Uh-huh. I know what you're talking
And
about.
yeah, and so I met them at honor, I think it was the honor awards, I believe, Black Honor Awards.
Okay.
And I was just like, I said, I'm gonna try it. So I was like, I give you the sun, the rain, and then I sent the mic to them and they finished, and I was like, oh my God. Like that was a moment for me where I was like, oh my God, like that's one of my favorite songs, and getting to meet them was kind of really awesome to me. There have been not a lot. I will say there hasn't been a lot of people who, well, you asked about awesome, not bad, right?
Either one. You know what? I said awesome, but hey, if it's something that you need to spill, baby, I got my tea ready, so let's do it.
You know what? So I've met a few awesome people. Like, truthfully, overwhelmingly, the experiences with most actors or artists, musicians, they've been really awesome. Like, really, producers, directors, whoever I've met, they've been really, really good and very, very appreciative for our time as media personalities and
Yeah.
journalists. But I did a red carpet one time, and I was very excited to go see this person.
Okay.
And I would reveal who it was at the end. And I was just like, I've already kind of done a red carpet like this, but I specifically want to go to see him because I've never met him before and I love his
Yeah.
music. When we got there, everybody did an interview except for him. And he had a
Wow.
private security, and I was like, what you need security for? Like,
Okay.
it was kind of like, and they were like, he's not going to do interviews with anybody. Y'all aren't going to be able to. And I was like, why not? Like, that's kind of. I was like, you're the headline star here. Why won't you do
Yeah.
interviews?
Because
And I
what
was
is
like,
you here for? You know we want to talk to you.
I was like, why won't you do an interview? And we're right here. You are like you are on the call sheet. I know you had to be number one, number two
Right.
on the call sheet. Why aren't you doing interviews? And I just felt like his whole aura was off, and it was surprising to me because of. And I'm just like everybody else. You kind of build this idea of somebody before you meet.
Yeah.
And so
Yep.
I was very disappointed in his behavior. And at one point, I was like, I'm probably going to give it away when I say this. And I was like, I want to do an interview with us. I can hear your heart crying out for me. And just trying to make a joke about it. It was Mario. Mario was
Hey, I tapped into that. I
bad.
already knew when you said that.
Yeah. And I was like, I was really taken aback at how standoffish he was from us. And I was like, Mario, listen, if you feel like you need security, I understand crazy people all over. But Mario, he was the only one who had security there, and he would not give anybody an interview. He had this big old security guard. And I'm like, y'all wow, like this is ridiculous. And then later on, I was like, you know what?
Mario. Is that what they
Yeah,
call you sometimes?
Mario.
Mario.
I was like,
Listen. I think people forget that as you climb up, you can also take that tumble, honey. Now you've been in the game for a little bit. We definitely recognize that, but
it
let's be serious.
yeah,
Let's be serious. Like, even if that was the case and your stature was really like that where you needed security, you know damn well people gonna want to talk to you, say a few words, say a couple pictures. I mean, you already know that. So if that ain't what you about, do what you have to do and come on up out of here. Because if you see
exactly.
me coming with this mini mic, I'm gonna need to talk to somebody else. Tell your security, let me talk to him.
Like
I will
somebody,
tell him what I want you to know, what I want to say. He can bring it back to me, but I'm gonna
yeah,
talk to one of y'all. And if that's not where you at with it, because you still have to be personable to keep your fan base. Like, you don't have to be
literally,
nasty, but
really
don't
bad.
have this big burly man like he ain't talking to nobody today.
Yeah,
Well, tell him go get in the car then.
that part.
Pull the
Because
car around.
my issue is if it were Entertainment Tonight, if it were Vogue, if it were any of the outlets that are non-black,
Yes.
you would have done interviews with them. So why not do interviews with people who have been your core fan base? We are black people. It's not like Vogue is paying you to go or put you on platforms where you just,
Girl.
have you ever been in Vogue magazine? No, but we are the outlets that are actually talking about the things that you're doing. And for you to shut us down with
Yeah.
he's not doing interviews, to me, it was just like,
Very
all right.
distasteful.
Yeah, extremely. So I was just like, you know what? We're again, I'm like, y'all don't understand how long it takes to I gotta get myself, I gotta really write down the questions that I want to ask. I gotta remember it. I gotta bring all my equipment out on this line. I have
Yes.
to be I'm standing up here for like at least an hour and a half. I'm waiting to speak to you, and then you bring your bald headed ass up here and you don't want to have a conversation with me. Oh, okay.
Because
You know?
let's be honest, sir. Girl, I'll talk to you about it.
Exactly.
But it's just like be realistic when, as a star, as a correspondent, anybody that has work to do, something that they're
Yeah.
passionate about, their job, their love, whatever, you still have to keep it funky with yourself. And I'm pretty sure somebody asked him later on, like, did you really have to do them like that? Because let's be honest, the culture is how you got this far.
Yeah.
Entertainment Tonight and all of them, they probably ain't never heard none of your music unless you were performing. But don't bite the hand that feeds you and the Kleenex that gets you together around the nose when you have a cold,
Exactly.
baby. Because you can come
Exactly.
on sit on down with us as if you never were.
That part.
So
Yeah, that like literally that part. And then he did interviews later on with people who further made me realize why I'm good on him. You know,
yeah,
like I think a lot of people use, and I'm just gonna say it. I think a lot of people use black folks, particularly black women, to grow, and
yeah,
then when they get further along, we are not the ones that they're choosing to either have families with or
uh-huh,
find
mm-hmm,
love with or even supporting us. So I
yeah.
feel like as black women, and this is just a little outside of what we're talking about, I feel like as black women, we got to take our support away from people who do not support us. So that's where I stand with that.
Because if anybody gonna give true tea nasty and cute like it's Jasmine Flowers, baby, and I love that. I
Yeah.
love you for that. And that's why I said this has to happen because you're not gonna hold any punches. You're gonna keep it cute, but you will not be on mute, baby. Not him.
At all.
So thank
At
you, girl. So media looks glamorous, but let's be real, it's a grind. And we
yeah,
know that system to
yeah.
system. So what's the behind the scenes truth about this industry the people are not really ready to hear because of course you see the cute parts, all the
Mhm.
all everything after it's edited, everything before you take your little hair off, before you take your lashes off,
Yeah,
anything that we get ready and come up like this, you don't see any of the down here.
yeah.
So when you think about the grind of media, what's something that you've noticed behind the scenes that you like people really don't want to know about this is nasty for real.
It's a hustle and it's
Yeah.
expensive to do. This isn't
Mm-hmm.
a this isn't something that's cheap to do if you're going to try to do it at a higher level,
Yeah.
and it's strategy to do it. You have
Yeah.
to figure out what type of either personality, journalist, whatever the word is you want to use that you want to be in this space. And then you
Mm-hmm.
have to go and execute that to the fullest. There are people, of course, like any industry, there are people who are going to talk about you, people are going to say whatever about you. You have to quiet that noise and not care what
Mm.
anybody thinks about you. You just have to move forward, and
Yeah.
especially if you are an independent media personality, meaning you're not signed under a big outlet, like you weren't working for Complex or
Absolutely.
Essence or working for whatever the ones you can name. You're not working for Revolt TV or anything like that. You literally have maybe less than 10,000 followers and you are trying to get access to spaces. You need to strategize. It's not easy. You have to purchase everything on your own. If nobody's paying you to do it, you're not making any money either, unless you are
Girl.
finding ways to get sponsorship. That's the truth. If you are out here on the red carpet, like for me, for instance, I am my own makeup artist. I'm my own stylist. I strategize all my content. I film and edit everything. Unless I'm doing something really big where, of course, I got paid for it. Then I
Yeah.
bring a videographer, a guy that I know. Shout out to Aaron Chase. He's my guy. We love film together. But that's few and far between because over 98% of the projects that I do, I'm doing it. So
Yeah.
yes, I edit my own content. You need to learn how to edit. You need to learn how to be a storyteller too, because you need to understand how social media works.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see a 1 2 minute long interview. Take the best parts of the interview that you have, even if it's like even if it's like 30 seconds of an interview, piece
Yeah.
that together and put it out on your page. Why are you putting a 5 minute interview out on your page on social media? Nobody wants to see that. So you have to
Yeah.
understand that too. You have to understand networking is key. Building a bunch of people that you trust,
That
like people who are doing the
engagement,
same thing
honey.
that you do. Yes. And then taking your opportunities. to do the work that other people aren't doing.
Yeah.
Research is key. Finding people's contact, that's key. Look out for what you need to look out for. I tell everybody, as an independent media personality, I I asked, and now, and I'm this is when I start giving people information.
Yeah.
Here's what I did to, like, I've worked with the Oscars before, and I say, as an independent media personality, for someone who started this career during the pandemic, I have worked with the Oscars not once but twice. And here's how I did it, because I strategized how to get there. So I started by talking to, I hope this isn't going to be lengthy, but I do want to get this information out here because this is free, and this is what my clients pay me to tell them to do. But
Huh.
so y'all tap in, okay? If you are trying as an independent media personality, the truth is your platform is too small for you to work with high level outlets. They're not going to let you do it. One, unless you are in school and you are using your school's outlet to do it. That's number one. They will help you out with that, but still, that's not your own outlet. That's your school. What
Yeah.
you need to do is you need to build your resume to the point where where you already can show people the access that you have. So that means you find out things like, if you paid for a concert to go to, who knows that you didn't do media there? Set it up and become a good storyteller. Act like
Yes.
it's behind the scenes content. Boom, that's media. Go to Eventbrite and find out places where artists will be. Go to different book signings, music sign, whatever, anything that's free or anything that you want to pay for, and pretend like you did media to get access. Learn about publicists, event coordinators, people who do experiential, and
Yeah.
build relationships with them. And here's the next step. Once you get all of that information and you have some good pieces of content behind you with high level people that are recognizable, not your community. And I'm not trying to dog anybody out. I'm just saying you need recognizable talent in your media
Yes.
kit. Once you get that, then you need to find a bigger outlet that has at least over 100,000, 200,000 followers. And that people are like, that's hard to do. Actually, it's not if you got your work already together. I'm not telling you anything I didn't do. So
Yeah.
I'm working with the outlet called Black Things UK. They're located in the UK, but across social media, they have like 500,000 um, followers.
Mm-hmm.
But I came to them with value. I have the contacts. I know how to find people. I already had an established um, media kit. I have examples of work that I already had. So I didn't come to them asking for an opportunity. Opportunity. I showed them how valuable I am. So once I
Yes.
did that, I said, this is the type of work that I'm trying to do. Now, at the time I had like 8,000 followers. My
Uh-huh.
platform was too small. I actually reached out to an outlet that does interviews, or they do celebrity interviews. They coordinate that. And I asked them on my own when it was just me, how can I work with you all? They came back and told me you can do it as an influencer, but you can't interview people. I said, is it because my platform is too small? They said yes. That was the best information they gave me. I
And
said,
that's real.
if I come back with a bigger outlet, will you reconsider? They said yes. I found Black Things UK. So my sister actually helped me out with that one, but I found them. I gave them all my information. They told me they love what I did. I went back to that same organization and told them these people have over 500,000 followers. They said, okay, let's work together. That's how I got
Okay.
my opportunity. And then how I got the Oscars. And I want y'all to tap in with this one. I found the contact for the Oscars. I only use my outlet for credentials. So I'm still doing the work. Nobody is putting me on. I'm
Yeah.
just using their outlet, which they have a phenomenal outlet, and we work together so well. I'm using their outlet to get access. So when I went and did my own research, by the way, on the Oscars, the Emmys, Essence, they have a whole section where you can go on their press section. It's on their websites. This information is free for everybody. All you got to do is look for it. Go
Right.
on their website, find their press. You need to go and ask for credentials. Once they let you in, you're in. But then you still have work to do with that.
Yeah.
So you still have to submit for credentials. The first time we did the Oscars, we passed the deadline. So I didn't know about that. But they offered to let us do a press conference that they were
Uh-huh.
having. The second time, we didn't get, we got confirmation to be in the press room. Didn't get an opportunity to get on the carpet, but we did get a step further. So of
Yeah.
course I'm going to try next year. Now, I know I've been talking for a long time, but
Girl,
this is
please. We
okay.
tapped in, honey. We tapped
So
in.
So I'm going to tell y'all about how the Oscars went. Okay. So with the Oscars, I was in the press room, which is a virtual press room, which
Mm.
is, as a media personality, of course, getting on the carpet is the number one spot you want to get to. The number
Yes.
two is getting in the press room. So I had the opportunity to get in the virtual press room, sat there for 5 hours, and the truth is, I didn't get a chance to ask one question.
Ooh.
But it is your job as a media personality. I've thought about Denzel Washington. I'm leaving here with something.
Okay.
So I have
We gotta get something out
exactly.
of it now.
When you are in that press office, you have access to their press room and all of the interviews that were done in the press room. It
Hmm.
is understood that you will be taking information from other people who got to ask questions.
Yeah.
So I was there for 5 hours, like I said, watching the Oscars and in the press room while they were all the people, the winners were coming up and asking their questions. The
Hmm.
three people that I needed to get from my outlet because they focus on Black people specifically, I ended up getting the woman who's Black and Asian. I think her name is Autumn. Autumn, who won the first award for cinematographer.
Hmm.
Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. I needed all three of those. Instead of taking my ass to bed because I was tired of sitting up there, and it ended for us at 12 o'clock. I stayed up for the next 3 hours editing content and making sure I got what I needed from the questions that were asked. And I also made sure that I gave credit to each one of the journalists
Yes.
who asked the question, because you have to have that journalistic integrity and let people know Birdie was
Absolutely.
not the one who asked that question. Other people asked the question. So I made sure I
Right.
put that in there. Those videos, because I did the work, did amazingly well. I'm talking about most of the videos did over, I put them on two platforms. They did over 100,000 views.
I
That
know
was
that's
one.
right.
Yeah, one of them did 100,000 views. I think the other one did like 78. The other one did like 12,000 or something like that. The views were amazing for my platform. I stayed up and did the work for my platform. That is what your job is. That was 8 hours of work that I had to sit up there for, not getting asked one question. If you
Mm.
are not willing to do that level of work, this is not for you. And that's the type of things that I can tell people. If that's not what you're trying to do, stay away from it, because that's what you need to do. And that's why my media kit looks as amazing as it is. And that is the first thing in my media kit about the type of access that I have. You
Hmm.
got to get the story.
Listen, now she done gave you the juice and the squeeze, so I
Period.
don't know if you caught any of it, but make sure that your cup has enough room, baby, because Miss Jasmine gonna let you know each and every time what tea is. Now, of course, that was definitely highlighting for me. And like you said, being independent is such a hard thing to do,
It is.
especially when you're working a 9 to 5. You're doing this, you're doing that, you're curling your eyebrows, whatever the hell you got going on, and it's
Absolutely.
tough. But if that is your passion, if that is what you own, it takes work, honey. And like Jasmine said, baby, sometimes it can take hours of sitting up and never even getting a chance to talk to the people that you came to talk to. So
Exactly.
you still have to be mindful that that's not just that one door. You gotta prep, you gotta prepare, because once you get that, okay, I didn't get that opportunity. Now you're internalizing what to do differently the next time, and how
Yeah.
to prepare and how to keep your stuff on, because when you get that shot, it's like, oh shit, it's game time. It's
Yeah.
game time. Then you get your click clacks out, you get to doing this, and then the people be like, what question you want to ask me? Okay, go. You got to
Yeah.
be ready, you got to be sharp.
Yeah.
So
You have to.
thank you. Thank you for that. So you are not just a correspondent, you're a brand. What was the turning point where you stopped chasing opportunities and start commanding? That's big, honey.
Yeah. I think it's recognizing the type of person you want to be in this industry. Like, do I
Yeah.
want to continue to work for somebody else for the rest of my life, or do I want to own my own brand? My goal was always ownership. It still is. Like, I
Yeah.
want to grow. I mean, my Jasmine Flowers is an LLC actually, so it's
Uh,
my name and it's my business. So I believe in myself enough to legalize my brand as Jasmine Flowers, as the personality, as the entertainment person that you will be seeing, red carpet correspondent. So
yes.
I'm like, to me, it's all about ownership. It's about growing and growth. And of course, you need people along the way. But I think you just have to recognize the value that you bring to a space and recognize
Yeah.
where you want to be. My goal ultimately is to be a household name as a
Yes.
personality and I still want to produce and direct. So I'm using my background as a producer, director, and now as a media personality to build a project where I can utilize those skills. I can't talk about that project right
Okay.
now because
Hey,
I
honey,
can't give anything away.
we can
But
get
that's
on
what
the bad phone when the time is right.
exactly, exactly. So that's what I'm working
Girl.
on, to do all of those things, because ultimately that's my goal. I want to work at a higher level for like luxury entertainment. I want to be at the top, and I want to bring other Black folks with me. That's my major goal, because, in my opinion, our media, our likeness is under attack. We see things that are
Mm,
happening right now to Black people, to
yes.
stories, to Black voices, where our work is being sold off, or other people who
Yes.
are, and I'm not trying to start no diaspora wars. I'm just saying foundational Black Americans and our stories are being bought and sold by others and
Yes.
used to tell their stories and not ours. And our stories are just as important as anybody else's. And I want to be a part of making sure I maintain that foundational Black American legacy, because we deserve to see ourselves in media. I grew up with the
Mm,
mother. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm saying that for a reason, because I hear a lot of people who didn't grow up in Atlanta saying that it wasn't a lot of Black representation. I just had this conversation with a young lady who said that she like it was a lot of Black people fighting against each other, and I said, I I'm not taking away from anybody else's lived experience, but I grew up in Atlanta. I've been in Atlanta since I was 2 years old. All I've seen is black excellence. I grew
yeah.
up with kids who were broke. I'm middle class, and I grew up with kids who were rich. Like
Yeah.
I saw all of Black life. So when people are like, we don't stick together, I don't see that, because I know we can. I know we do.
Yeah.
I in Atlanta where civil rights happened. What you mean we don't stick up for each other? Yes, we do. So
Yes,
I'm like,
ma'am.
my goal is always going to be to one. I always believe in, when you, like how they say, when you're on a plane, you got to put on your mask before you can save anybody else. I do
Yeah.
believe in saving myself first, but as I'm putting on my mask, I'm reaching over and making sure I grab somebody else's mask and put it on their face too, because we have to save each other. That's
Yes.
my biggest goal. My ultimate goal in media is to show more Black stories that actually make sense and are actually not shown as a monolith, but more of the vastness and the beauty, and the beauty of Black life.
After that, honey, I don't even know. I don't even know what else can come out of my mouth. I'm gonna tell you right now. I knew it was something special about you, because that's exactly how I am.
Yes.
When it's not just me, there's no
Yeah.
I in team, and that's exactly how I move. I want to make sure that everybody has a fair shot to tell their
Yeah.
story. If you got a business, whatever's going on with you, I need to make sure that we highlight this thing together, because we're all a part of the culture. We
Yes.
all have something to say. We all have something to do, and we all matter.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so I love how you laid all that out so eloquently, and that holds a lot of weight, Jasmine. Now you didn't did something to me. So before I get too in my thoughts and feelings, we're gonna keep it moving. I'll hit you on the bad phone about it.
Yes. Yes. We'll
So
talk.
so like I said, you are more than just, I can't even begin, because everything that you've said, I've internalized, and the way you think about your damn self is just like, hey, my name is an LLC. That's how
Yeah.
I know I'm not playing. I don't want you to think I'm playing. I am so much more than this. I'm a lot of different things, and if you don't support it or you can't understand it, that ain't got nothing to do with me,
It's not a
girl.
problem.
I'm gonna get with you. Because
Yeah.
I'm just excited at the things that you want to do, the things that you're working toward, and the fact that you're a brown girl doing it. And that's earth shattering, honey, because they don't know that we coming, but we coming. We've
Yeah.
been here and we ain't going nowhere.
Absolutely.
Oh my
We come.
God. So moving right along, what one interview that didn't go how you planned ended up being iconic anyway? Because I haven't seen you out there, but people ain't seen you out there.
You know what? One of my favorite interviews, and I'm trying to think of Fredo Bang. And I don't know if a lot of people know him. I don't. He's known in the industry, but not, I guess, like super well known. But he's a rapper,
Yeah.
and I will say it didn't go the way that I wanted it to, because I felt like I was actually super prepared for his interview. He is a very short answer
Yeah.
interviewer, and I knew that he was going to give me like one word answers to,
Yeah.
and this was on a red carpet too, in which, on a red carpet, honestly, you only have like maybe 3 minutes, maybe less, to
Yeah.
actually do an interview. So I think that's one of the interviews out of everybody that I talked to that I'm most proud about, because I knew I had to hold the pulse of everything. And I had my questions written down and in mind. And it was a strategy to how I asked the questions. I knew I would ask him something in the beginning where he would give me short answers. And then towards the end, I would ask him a question about his children. Because I saw in
Mm,
other interviews that he would light up talking about his kids. And I wanted the end of that interview to have him in a good mood. Because I
yeah.
knew how he could be like super, it would really be like, so, Fredo Bang, this is your sophomore album. Can you tell us a little bit about how you feel about the album? It's good.
Hmm. You like, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So question
Yeah.
two,
And
like,
so it's like you have to keep going. Even when he says it's good, it has to be like, that is so dope. I bet it is good. You have to go on to your next question because that dead space, people gonna be like, that's awkward. So that was like it was I think to me, it taught me about pacing. It taught me about like making sure I'm prepared. And
mm,
when I say that, it's probably one of the interview that I'm probably most proud of. And anytime people see it and they know Fredo Bang, then they're like, that's a good interview because he doesn't really, you can't get him to speak that fast to people and actually open up. Most people who do interviews with him, it's like sit down interviews and it's a long interview. And
yeah,
towards the end, he gets better. But like I said, this is like 3 minutes.
yeah.
I don't have 30 minutes to an hour to get this man cozy
Right.
with me.
Yes.
I'm like, I got to hurry up. So yeah, I think that's probably the one that was just like slightly unexpected, but also kind of like, Jazz, you got to be prepared. So
Yes.
yeah.
That's a big thing, honey, because that dead air, that's one thing
Yes.
you don't want. What you're gonna ask, like everything has to be calculated.
Yeah,
You
it
have
does.
to know what you want to talk about. And it's almost like you have to read who you're interviewing. You
Yeah.
have to understand what they're like, what their personality is, if they're quick, if they're like, baby, you got to get into it when you're doing research
Yes.
because you could jump into a situation like me, high vibration. My personality is like in your face. So far, everybody has loved it. They have vibed with it, but you might get that one that's not as cheerful, and they just like,
Yeah.
I'm here for the show. What's
Yeah.
going on? And then you got to reroute yourself. Like, okay, if that's the way you plan it, okay. So, and then you got to get more. Okay, so
Yeah.
you just have to switch up in accordance to who you're dealing with, but
Absolutely.
still make it go on. Just
Yeah.
don't worry about it. Just keep moving. Just keep moving.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I
I'm glad
think,
you highlighted that.
yeah, and I will say this too. I think you got to think of yourself as a star and they just somebody who's doing something with you. But if you look at yourself as being, I'm the main focus of this, then
Yeah.
it's your responsibility. It's not really on them, it's on you. How are you performing? Because you can't
Yeah.
control how they answer any questions or lack
Uh-huh.
thereof. You just got to keep the pulse and keep moving on. So even if somebody's a little dead or they are a little attitudinal,
Yeah.
you are called a media personality and a journalist for a reason. It's
Yeah.
you who are holding down the show, not them. So you got to know, even if somebody's not answering things well, you should have done your research on them to figure out their temperament too, or
Yeah.
how they're coming at you. And then I guess in many ways, you got to kind of be like a psychologist too, to be like, okay, let me pivot if that's something that they ain't trying to talk about.
Right.
Move on to things that
Yeah.
you know that they actually like. Become a stalker and stalk these folks. Like,
Yeah.
know
And you
what they
have to in order for it to pop off, right? Because, honey,
Yeah,
like I think it's just within us to know what's a green light and what's a red X.
yeah,
Like I try to steer away from who you dating, what you doing, are you? And if you gonna coast into it, do it real light, get in and get out.
yeah,
Is there a Mister So and So, Miss So and So, boo at next? Like
yeah,
some people are so private and talking about somebody's kids. Any questions? Because you see how the baby acted when the boy did the
yeah,
picture. You have got some people just do. The kids are off topic. So like you
yeah,
said, you have to stalk who you're gonna
yeah,
interview, get to know them, what their ticks are. You got to know that type of stuff because
yeah,
if you jump into it and you don't know who you're interviewing, it could be real ugly, baby. And
yeah,
before you can jump off good, crash landing. So be
yeah.
careful.
You got to be
Um,
able to gauge how someone's gonna, and you can always ask the question. It's always gonna be how you ask it, the way,
yeah,
the type of way you ask a question, not
yeah,
necessarily that you asked it. It's how are you gonna ask the question? Like that guy,
mm-hmm,
and I felt for the young man who drew that picture for him because I'm
yeah,
pretty sure in his mind he thought, oh, this is a great gesture.
yeah,
But in the baby's mind, these are his daughters, and
yeah,
somebody took a picture of his kids and drew a picture of his children. To him, it wasn't good. So the
yeah.
guy honestly should have asked, how comfortable are you with receiving pictures of your
Yeah,
family members or something
I
like
agree.
that? And then if the baby was like, I don't like that, then he could have been like, okay, I understand. Thank you so much for answering my question, and just kept the picture for himself.
Yeah.
Because just because you think it's a good gesture doesn't mean that somebody else is gonna think it's okay. Some people are really, really protective when it comes to their kids.
Yeah.
And I don't think the baby did anything wrong. Like, those are his
That's his
children.
preference. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. That's
Yeah.
his preference, child. If he don't get down like that, he just don't. And people
It's
came
just
at him so tough. And it's like you can't tell that man how to do nothing about a conversation or a picture that was handed to him about nothing. You can't
yeah.
don't touch it, leave it alone.
And yeah, we don't.
Because
Yeah, we
just
don't
leave it
know what
alone.
happened. We don't know what
Yeah.
may have happened on the back end though, too. What
Yeah.
if what if someone threatened his daughters before?
Or what was
Like,
said. Like
yeah.
we all we
Like,
see is what they wanted us to see. So we
exactly. We
really
don't
don't
know.
know.
We're not privy
Hmm.
to any of that information. So you just gotta understand that just because what you think, it doesn't mean that somebody else is thinking the same thing. It's okay to ask the question before you present anything to somebody, you know?
Absolutely. Girl, for sure. So moving along, because I know you got stuff to do, and it's so nice outside. But hey, they here to tea with us, and damn it, we gonna tea.
Absolutely.
So how do you protect your authenticity in an industry that sometimes rewards those that are yes people and willing to transform to keep building their momentum? Baby, authenticity is key, and I continue to stress this.
Yeah.
So what take do you have?
I just feel like you can't worry about how somebody else is getting on,
Yeah,
because you don't. Whatever they gave up in order to get on has nothing to do with you. And yeah, maybe sometimes it is difficult to see people who continuously get opportunities, and you probably know they aren't doing it in the best way. But what does
yeah,
that have to do with you?
not a
Like,
damn thing.
exactly. It has nothing to do with you. It's
Yeah,
like, okay, if that's not something that you're willing to do, don't worry about it. To me, I feel like you're spending or you're putting effort in the wrong place, like focusing on people who are getting opportunities who are not authentic, when you need to be worried about how your authentic ass is going to get those or other opportunities that truly
yes,
align with you, because everything is not for you. So I know a lot
yeah,
of people, like, there's been conversations about media, influencers or celebrities getting opportunities to do red carpet interviews and things like that. And so people who went to school for journalism or people who have been in this space are upset about other people getting opportunities. And I'm
yeah.
like, what you gonna do about it though?
Okay.
Like, like, honestly, what power do you have to change these people hiring a Sweetie when Sweetie messed up?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. Okay then. So mind your business and get back to work, because you still have work to do, because at the end of the day, don't nobody know you. And you need people to get to know you. So
Yes.
instead of worried about the opportunities that Sweetie got or somebody else who probably in your mind didn't deserve it, you need to be worried about how you're going to strategize to get yourself in these spaces to get opportunities like that. You're wasting time. We got work to do. And that's what I have to
Yes.
say for people like that. Yes, I look at other people getting opportunities. I'm like, damn, okay, what can I do to get myself on that same platform?
Yeah.
Something that I will say, we don't live in the era that we used to live in, where people, one no would determine your entire career. You can put yourself on. Other people have done it too. Yes, does it take money? Absolutely. Does it take knowing people still? Yes, it does. But one person does not determine your career. Two people
Absolutely.
don't determine your entire, three, four, five, they don't determine your entire career. Plenty of people have sat in front of their cameras and turned what their thoughts, their image into a career. Why can't you
Okay.
do that too? So yeah, I tell people, you need to not focus on that. It's time for you to get to work.
Straight off the desk of Jasmine Flowers. Make sure everybody in the back has recorded that information, because she wasn't playing. And again, what does it have to do with you? Sometimes you
Exactly.
have to take a quick pause and just take all that in, because you throw it out there like, listen. And I don't think the people heard you. Again, whatever somebody else got going on ain't got nothing to do with you. Stay authentic and true to your craft, yourself, how you move. And that's really all you can do. Of course, there are yes people, but hell, there's also no people too. So don't worry about none of that. Just take out, your notebook and whatever you, because how can I get in here? We're not worried about what you're
Exactly.
doing. You just got in, cool. But what I got to do, because this is where I want to be and deserve to be too. I mean, you just can't sweat the small stuff and worry about things like that, because, again, they're going to do with you. So
Absolutely.
we have reached the tea spill segment signature moment. And so I'm just gonna throw this on now here real quick. Let's be honest. Does talent always match the hype on the carpet? Because it's a lot of people I feel like are not really talented, but it's so much hype when you're out there in the land and people just finding and tripping and flipping over you. I just I'm at a point where I feel like talent is really null and void because there are a lot of artists and things like that that ain't talking about a damn thing. Now, in our era, music was music, it was for real. But now I just feel like sometimes it can be too much hype. So, do you think talent really plays a role nowadays in all the success, or do you think it's just more so who you done latched on to?
Talent has never been a thing for real. Like if you really think about it, and I love her, but I'm gonna say this. Rihanna can't sing for shit, and y'all know that. Y'all know Rihanna can't sing. She's not that talented of a dancer, but it's something about Rihanna, her aura. Like she is
She has sex
beautiful,
appeal.
and she's gorgeous to look at, and she didn't play any games with people, and her team was talented, not
Yeah,
necessarily Rihanna. So I mean, Rihanna been out since what 2008. That was almost 20 years ago. People been talentless and still making it. Like, and that's another thing where I tell people what they got to do with you. Like,
nothing.
what does that have to do with you? That, you're gonna talk to so many people on the red carpet who don't have any talent at all. Sydney Sweeney, talentless, but
Yeah,
she's on Euphoria. You know, like other people who, and I mean, just because we see these people lacking in talent doesn't
yeah,
mean that they aren't talented in other ways. Some
yeah.
maybe Rihanna wasn't supposed to sing and dance. Maybe she was supposed to sell makeup. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
Okay,
she was
because she killing the game with that.
that part, and everybody wanted her style. That's where her talent comes in. Best dressed at every place. She inspired people to do style, all that type of style. I wear Fenty makeup. I love her Fenty line.
Yeah,
You know, Savage Fenty is awesome too. Like the way she dresses and the way she dresses her kid, her and her man together. Like just because she can't traditionally sing, like she ain't belting out like Mariah or something, but
oh yeah.
she's not supposed to be a Mariah talent. She's just supposed to be her own type of talent. So, you know, I'm like, that doesn't talent is never gonna get you far.
Hell no, not
It's
all the time.
yeah, it's going to be your talented ass team that gets you there. So the best thing that you can do, that I always say, like for myself, I consider myself a talented person, but I also feel like there's a lot more that I need to learn too. And I also am working on building a team that can take
Yes.
me through there, you know, to take me to
Okay.
the next point. Because the thing is, you need a talented publicist, probably who has connections. You need, as you grow and get beyond, you need people who can put you in a place to be seen. It's only
Absolutely.
so far you can take yourself. So yeah, you can have talent, but you need a talented team around you. So I'm always like, listen, talent ain't never been a thing for most people. It's just
Okay.
it's your talented team. And you can, I mean, of course you can have talent too, but it's really the people who you surround yourself with who can give you those notifications about, hey, this person's gonna be here. You got a publicist who's doing things for you. You got a manager who is like really staying on top of your schedule and all those things. So
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, honey. What's now? I started to say, well, shit, but I try to keep it cute. I try to keep it cute. So, and last sip of tea. Okay. What's next for you that people are not ready for? Because, like I said, when I look at your content, I feel so connected to you. I feel like I'm there with you, and I feel like at some point I'm gonna jump out like Jasmine, I'm here. But what is next for you that ain't nobody ready for? Because, like you said, it's something you can't talk about. But what is something you can just give us a little bit of
Yeah.
catch me outside type of
Yeah.
thing, like something that's gonna take us out?
Yeah, so I am working on a project that I have started with a group of other media friends and content creators. It's called Media House Collective, and y'all should follow the page. We're just starting that. But one of the things that I can tell you that all of us are working on are is we're trying to go to different events like the BET Awards or South by Southwest when
Yes.
that comes out, eventually going to Cannes Film Festival and a lot of media events by building this media house and bringing together all of our collective talents together
Yeah.
from media people. Janario Scott is a part of it. Jaja, who was on here, she's a part of it too. She lives in Vegas. She's a talented media personality. She's in school for journalism too right now. So, and we have a couple of other media personalities and content creators, and we're all coming together and we're building our network from the people that we have with sponsorships so that we can work with brands to be able to amplify
Yes.
what we're trying to do for their brand. So this is another project that I'm working on to talk about I said before how as an independent personality, sometimes the money isn't there just out of your own
Mm-hmm.
pocket to do it. But once you start showing the value that you have, other people want to attach to you and they will invest by sponsorship in your brand when they know that you will truly amplify their platform. So that's one thing that I'm working on. And then something else that I'm working on that's far, far off is I gotta wait for that one. But also I want people to continue to follow me because on my page I often talk about my tips and my tricks
You do.
for media strategy and just telling people like I've talked to people about how to find contacts. I've talked about my media kit, which it's not a template. I designed it myself and how I designed my media kit and also like how to find events to go to. And I also did a video about how to start from scratch. So this is like free advice that I'm giving people about like
That you actually
real.
charge for.
And I was about to say, so with Jasmine Flowers LLC, I do consultations, and I also am coming up with lessons to teach people things that I do to show them, like, and I'm coming up with ebooks too to show people this is the equipment that you need, or these are the type of contacts you should be looking out for, or here's how I find contacts, here's how I find events, and showing people if I had to start here from day one. If I were
Yes.
you, here's what I do. And giving people what they are actually going to school for and spending thousands of dollars for. Well, ain't nobody gonna ask them for their journalism, media, or anything else degree. I'm giving it to you
Okay.
all right here for cheap.
Yes.
4 years on a degree, or you come and take my class and you
Yes.
get real life experience. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, teaching people that. So you can tap in with my page, Jasmine Flowers, JasmyneFlowers, and or you can go to my website, www.jasmineflowers.com, and you can really tap in with everything that I'm doing and come on in my inbox and get you a consultation because you need it. It's a lot in this industry.
Listen, all I can say is my girl, like from top to bottom, you have not only given the game as I promised the people that you would, but you have given them the tools to really get active, get serious, um, get everything in motion. Like ain't nothing rushed about it. You were definitely forthcoming, raw and uncut about it. You gave real tea, and you're no gatekeeper. You giving them what you got, and the fact that you normally charge for these gems, and you're
Yeah,
just giving them out like hotcakes. Now there
yeah,
is some stuff that you ain't shared with nobody that you do have to pay for. Which,
yeah.
come on, y'all. But for the most part, you are a dedicated, beautiful
Thank
Black
you.
girl that happens to be my sister in media, and I'm just elated at all that you want to do, and you're wanting to help people, girl, because we have to help each other, like you
We
said.
do.
And I love that you are not afraid to speak your truth. You don't bite down, you don't bite back, and who gonna fight me type of
Yeah,
energy. You know, like,
yeah,
hey, I'm here to do a job and you gonna listen to me, and you might as well get used to it because I'm here. I
exactly.
love, love, love everything that you come with. I'm screaming on the inside, you just can't see it, but I'm so excited for you.
Thank you for that. I
And
appreciate that.
baby, you done teed with Teash, and now you are a teacup. You are a part of my tea collection, and I'm gonna keep up with what's going on, baby, because y'all need to get me in the group chat. Like, put me in
Hey, let's
the
get it.
group chat.
Let's get it. I tell people too, just because you don't live in Atlanta or New York or LA, it doesn't mean that you can't work in media. You can do virtual interviews. You got to tap in with the publicists
Yeah,
around in your area or just say, hey, I have this platform. I want to get experience or, here's some of the things that I've already done. And like I said, when we first started this, go to concerts. Act like you're doing media at concerts, and
be
then,
out there with a mic, girl.
yeah,
Like even if you have to go out there with a hoe and like, yeah, sold them out.
yeah,
I mean, a lot of people. Sometimes you have to not really fake it to make it, but you
yeah,
have to appear as if you in the place and you there to do a job. Because then
that
they'll say,
part.
"Well, damn, she probably didn't get a chance to talk to too many people, but maybe she talked to a couple." You'll never know that. All you
Yeah,
know is I was there with my
exactly.
thing on and my pass, and I had a big ass mic.
Exactly. Or do
You
like a
know?
media, yeah, or do like a media recap. I went to an event with what was her Tab and Chance Brown, Tabitha Brown and her
Hmm.
husband. I went to that event and it was a media recap. I wasn't doing interviews. I was just doing a recap of the event. And that video did very well too. I'm like, it's just like leaning into becoming a storyteller in media.
Yeah,
If you can't do interviews, it's a recap. And you really just talk about your experience there.
yeah,
It will still give people the impression of the access that you have. And with that one,
yes.
I even told people how I got into that one. I I didn't pay for that event. I reached out. I found, okay. I reached out and found her media people, her publicist. I found her publicist, and I said, "Hey, I do media. Can I get in? Can I come there?" And she was like, "We don't have a seat for you, but you can come." I was like, "Girl, I don't need a seat. I just."
Hell no.
Yeah, and it was when I got there, it was plenty of seats. I could have sat down if I wanted to, but I'm doing media. If I just need, I need the credentials. That's all I need. I can do the rest of the work.
Yes.
And so I got those credentials. I got the content that I needed, and then pay for the event. That's why I
Mm.
love media too. I'm not paying, and I walk past the line. I'm like, I don't stand in line, and I don't pay. I'm like, no, you're gonna get something out of this. So yeah, y'all been giving to me.
Baby. The game. Do you hear me? The game. So that means whenever I come to Atlanta, I got to start looking into folks' publicists and see what it
Yes,
is. And see,
yes,
okay, cool. I do media. I need to get up in here. They say, oh, well, we ain't got no seats. That's cool. I want my comfortable shoes.
yeah.
It's all right. And then once you're in there, like Jasmine said, it's all about the content. People want to see the content. They don't give a damn if you talk to nobody. It looks like I did because I was up in there. And
Exactly,
that's the golden ticket. Just show that your ass was in there. And
exactly,
that's what's going on. So
exactly.
again, you have given us all the game, and I hope that the people that replay this and rewatch and obviously look at me sweat to death, hopefully they get a whole lot out of this, because
I
this is
hope
what this tea
so.
talk was for. Give it
Yes.
the news, give it the, y'all know what time it is. Jasmine gave you everything that you needed. It was like pretty much a get started kit.
Yeah, yeah,
So if you still ain't got started and she didn't give you all this information, baby, maybe this life ain't for you. Because
yeah,
I have internalized, and I've even gotten on my other bad phone, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put these gems in here because she wants me to have them in particular.
yeah.
So, but yes, girl. So is there anything else you want to share before we head out? Oh my God, I love you so
Love
much.
you back, boo. I just want people to tap in if this is something that you're trying to do, or just whatever dream you have. I just want people to go after it. Like, listen, like SZA said, you better live your life. We running out of time, okay? Like, we gonna be around forever. As much as I would
Okay.
love to be here until I get ready to go, we're not. And so
Yes.
you got to make a life for yourself right now. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. So you need to go ahead and live your life now and get the things done, so that by the time you old and chewing for no reason, you can say, "I
Like,
did it."
you ain't got to take no
Okay,
out. You know?
exactly, exactly.
She is she literally the realest. Like, baby, if you have watched Jasmine's content, especially her fitness journey or whatever,
Yes,
she might have her hat on, is what they call it, these wigs. She might have it on,
yes,
she might not. I don't know what you
yes,
get, what you get, but she's still gonna give it to you all the way live, and you have to respect
for
somebody
sure.
like that. And that's tea on that. If there is nothing else, I definitely want to encourage you guys to follow Jasmine, follow me,
Yes,
okay, and just tap in and tune in, stay in touch, stay in line with your craft. Always make sure that you're aligning with the right people, baby, because
for
everybody
sure,
is not meant to hover over you like a winter coat. You hear me?
for sure.
So, and outside of that, I always tell every guest and my audience at the end of every show, I always make sure that you keep enough room in your teacups for new tea. And if Miss Jasmine is done, I'm done. And
Yes.
so we out of here, y'all. Bye, girl.
Bye. Thank you.
Of course, anytime.